Today we're over in Ximending. It's the walking district. It looks like there's plenty of places to go, plenty of ground to cover. I'm actually gonna go this way. I'm probably gonna stop for the food first because that way I can walk off some of these calories after I get done eating this food. But it looks like a pretty lively place down here. I think it's an entertainment district and they should have like bars and restaurants and all that good stuff. And probably some tons of good food over here. It looks like they got that Cold Stone Creamery. I might have to check back in there, but I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm just gonna be exploring down here because it looks like there's tons of stuff to check out down here. I do have to find an electronics store because my memory cards are full and my MacBook would not come out of sleep mode for some reason, so I was not able to transfer my other video, but I'm sure they'll have somewhere over here where I can find a micro SD card. The weather out here is same as any other day. It's pretty humid actually. It's still pretty warm. I'm wearing a sweatshirt because sometimes you go to different areas and it's a little bit cooler, so I'd rather be hot than cold. From what I hear, there should be like more American, or not necessarily American, but more tourists in this specific area. But very interesting. Yeah, this looks like a lot of places to go. Like, looks like they have Caesarea. They have that in Japan, so that's a familiar place. Lots of clothing stores out here. Tons of food as you would expect. Actually, maybe I'll stop for that SD card first, because this SD card might be full by the time I get there. For now, I'm gonna stay on this main strip and see what it is down here, but then I'm actually gonna go back and explore some of these side streets out here. I think Taiwan is a lot different than Japan. It seems to me like people are more like, I don't know if they're used to foreigners more, but you don't get all the staring and, you know, people surprised and shocked and kind of looking at you. For the most part, it's like kind of business as usual over here. People are just going about their business. Every now and then, yeah, you will get a look from somebody, but it's not nearly like it would be if you were in some places in Japan. All right, I'm gonna walk this street and see if I can find maybe a small electronics store or something for that SD card, and then I'm gonna go and get the food. So for those that don't know a lot about Taiwan, there's many languages spoken here. There's Taiwanese, there's a lot of English speaking people here. There is Mandarin speaking. I think Mandarin and Taiwanese are probably the two main languages that are spoken, but there are a lot of people here that do speak English. So if you are ever interested in coming out here, I think you might not find an issue with communications. And then also, again, there's tons of English speaking people here. So I think for the most part, when you're traveling to these Asian countries, if you do not speak their language, you can still manage to kind of get by, because most of the time they'll have an idea of what you're talking to. I did actually catch the train yesterday, the subway or whatever they call it, and it was somewhat challenging because it just, I don't know, I guess maybe it was my first time, so I don't know if I'll actually get to do a video of that one. We'll see what happens, but for now my preferential form of transportation is the car. This looks like the Nike store. I'd have to check in a Nike store because, you know, I'm a Nike junkie, so absolutely have to go in here. I may stop in here on the way back and get a new pair of shoes. We'll see. All right, stopped into that Nike store. Their selection once you leave the US is much less. They still have some of the same shoes, you know, the blacks, the whites, but the prices over here are a little bit more. It's probably in line with it is with the US. Because I just looked at those pair of just regular Air Force Ones, and they were $111, so you probably have to pay tax, so it's probably $120. In the US, it's going to be at least that amount.
好，这个 IG hashtag 淘宝免运，这个请 hashtag 后面那个，如果你忘记了，你看一下后，在我们的上面这些设计物都有。等一下要 hashtag 这种都是产品换礼物。
So the one thing that I did notice is for the stores, the retail shopping, there does not appear to be as much English as you might find in the tourist areas in Japan. Over here, it's, you know, you have to kind of be able to read or speak their particular language. For the food places, yes, the menus are definitely all pretty much have a version in English as well, so I don't think you like really have a problem with picking something off of your menu, even if you cannot read their language, because they'll have it in English. Like you can see up there, they got oysters, dry noodles, braised beef. But these smaller places, the mom and pop shops, they do not have it in your language. So
有拍照有合影的才有给礼物，气球请准备。我们现在跟大家一起拍一个倒数自拍。好，有进来镜头里面的，等一下准备换礼物哦。好，来哦来哦。然后呢
Another thing I noticed about Asia is like they have all these trinket stores like this.
等一下有拍到照片的话，直接跟我们
I don't even know how they can stay in business, to be quite honest.
现场帅哥美女帮我们准备礼物，等一下全部有拍
But they're here, so I guess people are buying it.
等一下赶快挤进来，3秒、2秒、1秒。
It's another store they have in Japan, ABC Mart. Same thing. I may check back in there and see if they have some shoes. The other thing that you'll definitely notice is like they have tons of street vendors down here. I don't know how much this costs, but I am gonna try those. I'm gonna try those tomatoes at some point here. I have yet to run into the electronics store or any place. I saw a phone store. I don't know if they'll have an SD card in there, but maybe not. I have seen a few tourists down here. Just a few, not that many. There's a lot. Okay, this is a phone store. I don't know. Maybe I'll check in here if they have an SD card over here. I'll ask. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have to use Google Lens to figure out because this is Chinese. It looks like this is some charcoal grilled chicken legs. They got some chicken steak, I guess, up there. Mixed fried food platter. Duck crispy sausage. I don't think I'll be having the duck. Large intestine. Comprehensive sweet and spicy duck wings. I don't know what that is. Chicken skewers. Plum potato chips. And then pork mushroom rolls. Here's that they have some foods that we don't necessarily eat in the US. They have duck tongue. And then the other one was some type of intestine. I don't know what that is, but I don't personally eat that. So I think I'm gonna keep moving along and see if I can find something that is more in line with what I'm kind of used to. Looks like there's another cinema here. This appears to be a more modern cinema. And then it looks like they're building something new here. This is going to be a massive building because I can see the basement kind of goes down as well. Alright, so motorbikes are apparently okay right here on this street. Alright, this is the modern movie theater. I don't know what they're playing here. Looks constructed a little bit different than a theater that you would find in the US, but I guess you would expect that because space is at much more of a premium, so I don't think they have as much space to build. So their movie theater is probably, maybe it's the same size. I don't know. Maybe they can actually fit. All right, we're gonna head back down this direction down here. Here, I'm gonna take this back street just to show you what this graffiti looks like. That's probably art. It's probably not graffiti. It's probably art, to be quite honest. And then it looks like there's like a dessert bar over here. But I guess a lot of this is art. It's not graffiti, it's art. And then that's the other thing that they have is they have all of these pop-up kind of stuffed animal arcade things. That is super popular here. It's also super popular in Japan as well. So I think this part of town definitely lends itself to more of a kind of an urban feel. The other thing that I also did notice here is that they have lots of basketball courts. Saw a lot of basketball courts, so basketball must be very popular. I've gone a lot of places in Japan. I don't think I've seen one basketball court. Over here I already saw an area where there was probably about 20 basketball courts, like full-size basketball courts in the park. So I can only imagine what that might look like when it's full. Okay, so down here it looks like there's some hotels. This is kind of the end of this area. I don't think I'll be eating on these little side streets. I'm not familiar enough with the language and everything else. I don't want no issues. I need to be down on the main strip area or very close to that. But this is definitely more my speed down here. I don't like the heavily populated spots. But in these big cities, there's tons and tons of people, so it's not like you can get around crowds. There's gonna be crowds everywhere you go. I think this is more hotels down here. This looks like a shoe store. Kind of like this is like a used secondhand store. So I see some Balenciagas up there, and then I see some various different Nikes over here. The other thing that you will find here is that there's smoking culture. So this is a big ashtray. You can actually smoke on the street here. Pretty much smoke wherever. That's kind of another major difference from some of these other places. They got a sweet shop right here. Ooh, they got some good stuff in there. That looks like someplace I would definitely like to go back to. Looks like there's hair salons. There's hair salons everywhere. Hair salons, nail salons, all types of places to go get services. Oh, this is another Nike store. I don't know if I'll go in there. Maybe I'll go in there later. I'm on a food mission right now. Interesting thing that you can see in the street. So you see 1800 to 2400. That means that only during those times you could cross that direction. Otherwise you have to go this way. So apparently it's okay right now to go straight up the middle, kind of diagonally. That's one of the cooler things about some of these other countries. I don't think there's many intersections designed like that in the US. So I'm gonna go down this street right here. I'm gonna see what they have down here. But just based upon what I see a lot of shoe stores. I see a lot of people that are kind of dressing a little bit more a lot of hip hop kind of people. But then generally speaking, it appears to me is like the people here to me are kind of like less sophisticated in the way that they dress. I don't know, that looks interesting over there. I think I'm gonna check in over here. They got a little burger joint or something like that. If they got a place to eat, this might be something I might have to check out. All right, I'm sold. I'm gonna figure out how to get into here and check out their food. I don't know if that's the way to get in or not. I don't usually like to go into the back door. I know that's the kitchen right there, so I know that's not it. But this looks like what I want to check out. Oh, it's the door is open right here. Okay. All right, we're gonna check this out. All right, so I don't know what the name of this place is called. Standing Cat. The food looks pretty interesting. Looks like they kind of got more of a little bit of a Western menu here. I'm probably gonna go for one of these burgers. Alright, and I don't know if you could hear that music, but it's like some kind of hip-hop music or something like that. I'm not quite sure if I'm going in the right direction or not. I guess that's a costume store. Looks like another costume store across the street. Kind of rare. I actually see some people on bikes right now. I think the culture over here is definitely a lot different because all I see are these mopeds and kind of mopeds. I don't really see many people riding a actual real bike where they're pedaling the bike themselves. Another thing that's pretty interesting is that there's like a mix of languages. So when you look at some places it's in Taiwanese, then you look at other places and it's in Mandarin, and then every now and then you'll see some places with like some Japanese on it as well. I'm pretty sure that some of the characters in maybe katakana are mixed in or shared. I don't know, it looks like it. I do know that Japanese language is derived from a Chinese language, so maybe it just looks similar. Maybe in fact it's not at all similar at all, but it appears that way. I think I'm gonna go this way. The one thing that I cannot get over is how the money works. So every time I want to go make a purchase, I have to pull out my translator or Google money converter to figure out like how much money am I actually spending, because it'll say 300 Taiwan dollars, but really that's like $10 in US money or somewhere around there, like just under $10. So, but every time you look at the price, it's a shock. It'll be like 1,000, 300, 500. They do have some stores that you might see in the US. 7-Eleven obviously is like big in the Asian world, where at least over here they got 7-Eleven. I don't know if they're supposed to be riding a motorcycle down the sidewalk, but hey. Okay, this is one of those lottery kind of booth things that I was talking about. I think this is the lottery, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know for sure. Another one that I was in, the guy actually, I saw numbers coming down. It kind of looked like a game, so I don't know. Maybe they were just drawing the lottery at that particular moment, but okay. So I think I just did a big circle and I'm right back over kind of where I started at, I'm pretty sure. So I went down the back streets and was able to go in a circle apparently and find my way back, because I started right over there. I went all the way that way, and then I guess I took the back streets and came all the way back around this way. All right, so I'm gonna explore this walking street now again, but this time I'm actually gonna take a different direction and see if there's some other different stores that I can check out over here. One thing I have not noticed as much over here is I don't see a lot of people with tattoos. I see some people with tattoos, but it's not like it is maybe what you will find in the US. So I think that these performers are allowed to perform on the street. So if you're the artsy type and you can sing and you can dance, you could just set up shop in pretty much a lot of places and start singing and entertaining. The other major thing that I noticed about here is that it's not really as healthy as being in Japan, because people aren't riding bikes, they're not burning them calories off. There's a lot of kind of chunkier people. I'm not saying overweight, but people they're not the same. There's like definitely a lot more people over here that, or maybe it's more a little bit like the US, but not nothing close to the US, because over there's people that are like really big. So, but it's definitely noticeable that the people kind of weigh a little bit more over here. People are eating and probably not exercising as much. All right, so last time I went that way. This time I'm gonna go this way and I'm gonna see what's over this direction. So it looks like this is Studio A Apple reseller. So I'm not sure if the products are on discount there, but there's a pretty long line to go into that Apple reseller store. So I guess this is like the New York of Taiwan over here. Maybe this is like the Times Square of Taiwan, with all the people, all the places, all the food. Okay, so over here we have the Adidas store. It looks like there's a Nike store. Looks like there's another Nike store over there. I think I'm gonna go into the Nike store over here and check out what they have. Okay, I'm checking out this Nike store. This is pretty interesting. I never really saw that before. But I'm gonna check out some more shoes over here. I think these are... I'm not sure if these are men's or women's. I think these are men's. Alright, they had some decent shoes up there. I'm not really a Jordans fan, but they did have this one Jordan sweatshirt that was very interesting. I just want to get a picture of this so you can see. These are just all like Nike boxes. I am going to check out with a pair of these shoes. I'm about to upgrade my shoes right now. I got these on. I'm buying the same shoe. Okay, so I just bought these shoes. I got the white gum sole Air Force Ones. You can check out the price on there. It's $24.90 Taiwan dollars. I did the conversion on it, and the conversion is, let's double check this one more time. $77.21. Like, I can't even buy that shoe in the US for that much. This same shoe in most places in the US is $110 to $120 plus tax. So right there, I just got like 30-40% off, 30% off for a shoe. I needed the shoes anyway. I was gonna upgrade them, but they just incentivized me because the price was so low. Now, on some of the other shoes that they have, looks like The Rock's got a new movie out. This is pretty interesting that they're promoting movies on these trucks like this. But most of the other shoes that they had were kind of regular price or closer to the price. The Jordan sweatshirt that I saw that I liked, it was close to $100, like $90, which I like Jordan, but I don't really wear Jordans, and I do have a Jordan collection. I got J's, so don't think I don't. but it's not my preferred shoe. So since I don't wear the Jordans and I'm not gonna wear that, I just opted to not get the sweatshirt, even though it was like a very, very nice sweatshirt. So I think what we have over here is more or less like the Nike shoe running store, probably the running shoe store. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know, or maybe they're just promoting this shoe outside. I'm not sure what this is, airspace, but surprisingly, with the amount of people that they have over here, the country is not, it's pretty clean, to be quite honest. You would think it would be a lot dirtier just based on the fact of how many people there are. But what I've noticed is that like there's little pockets of where it's dirty at. And then there's other places that are just like extremely kind of clean and well kept. I'm taking one of these side streets because I promised you guys I would take the side street and show you what it looked like over here. Lots of fashion boutiques and places like that. That's got to be a tattoo parlor right there. It got to be. Got all the shoes for the ladies. Uniqlo, as expected over here. The other thing that I'm gonna mention is that I really haven't seen that many homeless people over here. Compared to other countries, like specifically the US, I've probably already seen like 500,000 people over here. I maybe have seen like one homeless person. I'm sure there are homeless people here because there's homeless people everywhere in the world, but just based on the amount of number of people that I've already seen, I don't think that that's a social issue as much as it is in other countries. So it looks like we have like another kind of street performer out here. And then people just kind of park, I guess. I don't know. Kind of different. I'll make my way through this crowd over here. Alright, so this is Ximending. I guess I haven't seen the entire area, but I've seen a big chunk of it, so you guys should have an idea of what this area actually looks like over here. Not exactly sure what this is. This looks like a phone booth, maybe? Oh, it's a karaoke booth. So you can go in here and you could do karaoke, sing and record. So maybe what it is you go in here, you do a song, and then you can send it to yourself over line, or maybe a message or email or something like that. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's an interesting concept. Does not appear to be busy, so I don't know how much money they're making, but it doesn't take up a lot of space, and they probably don't have to use a lot of electricity either. looks pretty interesting. Pasta place. And over here you got like some kind of fruit stick stand. Yeah, everywhere you go, it's like you're going to be inundated with food smells. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go that way, down this street back here, and then figure out the best place to either catch a cab or catch an Uber and get up out of this big crowd down here. Okay, the garbage people showed up. They showed up. They cleaned out the garbage. I guess they'll move on. So trash and recycling is running on the weekend, I guess.